guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be, just had to get comfortable. Today's video is going to be about traveling alone. So as some of you know, I have been traveling alone since 2014? I want to go 2015. My very first trip was a group trip. It was a missions trip to Northern Ireland. The story you have heard over and over again, or at least read about on my blog. That was my first trip traveling alone, and honestly, I was scared to death. I was so nervous. I had never traveled alone before. I had always traveled with my parents and my sister, or my parents and a friend. I'd never traveled alone. I've been on a flight once by myself, and that was only a quick flight from Orlando to North Carolina, where my mom picked me up for a wedding, and then drove me to South Carolina where the wedding was being held. And other than that, I had never traveled alone. I was unfortunately over the age of being escorted for that flight, so I wasn't escorted or anything. I had to do it by myself, which I was able to do, and it was fine. My aunt actually was able to get a gate pass and took me to my gate and everything, so it worked out. But other than that, that group trip was my first trip traveling alone. So I felt safe. It's a group of people that I was trained with, that I had known for well over a year. But it all went great. But my second trip was very different because I was going by myself overseas, again, to the same place and kind of like the same situation, but quite differently. And then again, hopping on another flight in the UK by myself and all that kind of stuff. Taking trains by myself. It was stressful, but it was so worth it. I saw a blog post a couple weeks ago which actually inspired this video because it talked about the benefits of traveling alone. Now, I read this blog post. I can't remember who wrote it, but it popped up on like Bloglovin or something like that. And actually, no, I think it might have been a YouTube video, one or the other. And I was like, I watched this video and I was like, that was not helpful at all. Like, nowhere in there, other than this girl's first time traveling alone, was there helpful information or even tips or just like a personal story. It was just very cold to me. So that's why I kind of wanted to make this video, because I feel like as a female, there's always a lot of negativity, I feel, that follows a young female in the age range of 18 to, I want to say 25, for traveling alone. I think a lot of people view it as A, you can't take care of yourself, or B, you need a man to protect you, or C, that it's not worth it, or, you know, so many other things. Because I've talked to so many people, whether that's at layovers or friends or family or bosses, that are like, I wish I had traveled alone when I was young. And that, honestly, that statement really makes me want to travel more at this time of my life and at this age and alone, as well as it makes me realize how lucky I am to have been able to travel like I have and have these experiences, because not everybody gets that opportunity. A lot of my big trips have been with family. I've been very fortunate enough to have parents who are travel agents. Therefore, I've been able to travel with them, or they have been able to provide me with opportunities. So I'm very fortunate and feel very lucky to be able to have those opportunities. Okay. So going back, so that first trip was a whirlwind. And then I was like, I'm going to do it again. So not even 6 months later, I mean, that was November, December, January, February, March. So like 4 months later, I went back to the UK again, a very different route than I had done before. Um, this time, I pretty much wasn't going to see the familiar face that had picked me up from the airport 2 times before. And I was going to be, so I was familiar with the airport, familiar with the trains and the route I was going to be taking, things like that, but I had never internationally flown into this airport before and gone through their set of customs and their rules and there's things like that. So that was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking, but everything went smoothly. My last big trip, I wouldn't even say big trip, my last trip alone was my Toronto trip. And I was kind of worried about that. Honestly, I was a little bit stressed out flying in. I had never flown into Canada before. I had never been to Toronto. I had never been in that airport. I had never dealt with their customs. As far as coming in, I had dealt with Vancouver leaving, but I had never dealt with them going in. It was a whole new experience, a whole new thing to me, and I can honestly say I was pretty stressed out. The excitement overweighed the stress, but it was still quite different. Everything went smoothly, it went fine. Obviously, I'm here. But I think that there's so many good opportunities for women, and although I know there's a lot of scary stuff going on in the world right now, and you hear those news stories and you hear those articles and you read those articles in the paper and you see stuff on Facebook and Twitter and news websites, and it puts so much fear into what is going on around us in this world that it makes you not want to travel. It makes you not want to gain those life experiences. And honestly, I don't want to be that person 20, 30, 40 years from now saying, I wish I had done that when I could have, or I wish I had gone on a trip, or I wish I had traveled here or there when I could. Because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. And honestly, yes, some of my memories looking back are a little bit tainted because of certain situations. But you know what? I don't regret them one bit. Honestly, I look at them as I am so grateful and lucky to have them that I don't even remember some of that because I feel so overjoyed that I was able to go to the UK or Europe, however you want to say it, 3 times in the matter of less than 1 year. What other 22-year-old can say that they did that when they were in their 20s? I know there's so many travel bloggers, blah, 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 out there that have been able to do that. But your average person at my age, who's able to say that they did that? I get to say that, heck, I went on a train at whatever time it was, 9 o'clock at night by myself. Now thinking back, it probably was a little bit dangerous. Having no idea if I was getting on the right train, the wrong train, walking around in circles trying to find my platform, had some girl sit next to me and offer me French money or some kind of other money for my ticket because she didn't have one. You know, like who else has those memories? Also, trying to come back, getting stuck at Leeds, and my train being canceled, missing my flight, having to get back on a train, praying it's going to go to York, literally standing pressed up against the train doors because there's no seats left because the train system's completely down, and crying, freaking out, calling my mom internationally without an international plan on my phone, paying up the whatever you want to say for that phone call. At the time, calling my boyfriend, freaking out. Like, who else can say they have those memories? Everything worked out, but they're memories that can never, ever, ever be taken away from me. The memories of talking to the people sitting next to me in my seat on flights, the memories of people praying with me on flights, for that relationship that didn't work out. You know, there's so many memories that I'm so grateful for that I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. I don't want to stop traveling. And the second I get that diploma in my hand, I don't want my life to change in a sense that I am working for money. I want to work because I want to work. I want to work to be able to provide me with opportunities that I can continue to travel like I have been. Whether that's alone or whether that's with somebody with me, friend, family, boyfriend, fiance, husband, whatever. But I don't want to ever let society, news articles, friends, family pressure me into not doing something just because the world is scary. The world is dangerous. Whatever's going to happen to me at the end of the day is going to happen. You know, I don't know what my future holds. I don't know. I could die tomorrow driving to school. I don't know. But I'm not going to let that fear rule my life. So I think that traveling alone can grow somebody, because I know that I have grown so much by my trips. My last trip to Toronto, there was a little bit of tension with my family with that trip. And I know personally that I grew from that because I put my foot down and said, I'm going on this trip. I'm not letting you define me and keep me here because you're worried about what's going on out in the world. And I had never taken a stand like that with my family ever. I have always sat back and listened to them and listened to everything that they said and made my decisions on their fears, their worries, their thoughts. You know, if they said no, I said no. And just from that, I grew a ton. And that's just one scenario and one situation, but throughout all of those trips, those 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever trips that I've taken by myself now, I have grown so much from them. Just talking to people, random people, strangers, and listening to them and their advice. And that's what I love so much about it. Honestly, traveling is my high. Like, I love the excitement, the energy, the thrill of it. And to be honest, if that's my high, I don't think it's that bad. Is it crappy for your wallet too, just like everything else? Yeah, but honestly, I am so grateful for everything and for all the people who supported me in that, and the families that had taken me in on some of those trips and let me stay with them. Like, I can't thank you enough for what you have done for me as a person and helped me grow into who I am today, because it wouldn't be possible without you. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. I would love to further this discussion, thought, video, whatever you want to call it, and really go on with it. If you want, private message me, comment, questions or thoughts or stories that you've had about traveling and how you think it's helped you grow as a person and traveling, and your thoughts on traveling alone. That would be great. I would love to kind of make this more of a community vibe. So yeah, with that in mind, I am leaving on another trip. This one will be a family trip. I will be taking, I guess you could say I'll be kind of taking my parents around to places that I've been to before. We're going to be going to Giant's Causeway. We're going to be going to quite a few places. I'm quite excited to be going to the White Moose Cafe. I'm so stinking excited to be doing that in Dublin. I've never been before. I love Jason and Paul. They're like super cool people. I can't wait to go and vlog it, hopefully. I don't know how picky they are about stuff like that, so we'll see. But yeah, so I'm very excited to be taking them there. We're going to be going to Big Ben in London, of course. I'm going to be doing the London Eye again, so hopefully this time it's going to be more of a private experience. And hopefully I'll be able to get some better footage of that without screaming children in the background. So, without further ado, I guess that is it for now. So, love you guys. Give it a roll comment. Give it a roll like. Do what you want. Bye.